An I'd rather leave it. I'd say the raven pecked it apart. Maybe he was looking for something edible, or more sparkling things. Some clothes. They really could have belonged to Angelina. And here, a little book. Is that... That's gotta be Angelina's diary. And here, there's a folded note in the book. But one thing at a time. What's she written on the last pages? Tuesday, I found him.
He's called Darren Michaels. Or rather, that's the name that they have given him, if I'm right about my suspicions. He's very nice. I don't think he has the faintest idea about the whole thing. I wanted to speak to Mrs. Michaels, but nobody came to the door when I rang the bell. There seems to be a man following me, even before my departure. I had the feeling of being watched. What does the man want from me? Evening. Mrs. Michaels has had a terrible accident. She's lying in hospital with severe head injuries. I wonder if she had already fallen when I rang the bell. Oh, God, I'm imagining all sorts of horrible things. Wednesday. I've been arrested for the murder of a man whom I barely know. I was led into a trap. A voice told me over the phone that they had information about Darren. When I arrived at the store, I discovered the body and was promptly arrested. I think my pursuer is behind this. Or am I being paranoid? Who can have an interest in finally ending all of this? Afternoon. Darren is so sweet the way he's really gone to town to help me. He's so ready to help. He's a bit of an oddball, but I like him a lot. Doesn't matter if he is who I think he is. I've found a good friend. Or maybe more. Later. Reginald Boris. That's my pursuer's name. There's no doubt anymore. He's here to hinder my search, to stop what I'm doing. Who has sent him? Evening. It's him. I know it now. He brought a little...
Like I thought. Angelina knew more than she let on the whole time. And she put herself in danger to protect me. It all fits together. The payments from Willow Creek, there being no pictures of my father, and me not being able to remember him. There was no car crash. There was a fire in the castle, and my mother was injured then. She was sent to the USA and received a pension, or maybe hush money. The only thing I don't understand, what is it all about? What did Angelina want to achieve, and what does the Order want to prevent? And most importantly, what have I got to do with it? A stone plinth. There are 3 grooves on each side. No idea what you can do with it. So she hid in here? In these ruins with an oil lamp and her notes? She was very brave. Or crazy. The gate won't move, and I can't see a latch or a keyhole. So the raven got in here. Just like... I want to find out what Angel... This note was stuck in the diary. It's a letter. Darren, I hope this letter finds you.
I can't tell you just how sorry I am that I wasn't honest with you right from the start. I've underestimated the danger from the Order for way too long. I've been playing a little game, and now it looks like I've lost. The Order's agents are creeping through the ruins, and it's only a matter of time until they discover this room. I'm going to hide the pieces, and I'm going to try to break through to get to the village. Perhaps I can at least keep them away from the gate. Should you be reading this letter, then I haven't made it. And so, I ask you to complete my work. You don't believe in the curse, I know that. How could you, though? You were so far away. But I came across some illustrations during my studies, and it's all true. Terrible things happen here every 12 years. And that's been going on for centuries. Maybe it's mass suggestion, or maybe it's some kind of radiation, or maybe it's a curse. Call it what you like, but it has to stop. The key to all evil is hidden beneath the Academy. A chamber which was used centuries ago for some kind of dark rites. There are also the soul keys which Samuel Gordon discovered 12 years ago. Destroy them. Destroy everything. And if it's all just a fantasy in the people's heads around here, take away the reason for them to fear. But guard yourself against the Order. It is an occult sect which I had believed to have died out. A great mistake. It still exists. They mess about with dead bodies and they want your blood. According to the legend, only a male Gordon can open the cult's...
A curse? All of this because of a curse. The blood of the Gordons. An occult secret society which like to call up the devil in person. It's all so crazy. How can you kill folks in the name of such a fantasy? How can anyone get so caught up in this superstitious baloney that they kill for it? But Angelina's right. Bizarre as these people's motives might be, they're gonna keep on going as long as they can see a chance of achieving their goal. They've gotta be stopped. And I'm gonna stop them. Angelina's death shouldn't have been completely in vain. Card from the Willow. I want to find out what Angelina was looking for in the... I'd just like to get a bit closer to Ralph. Not exactly what you'd call a cozy home sweet home. Piece of mosaic's not in the rucksack, and there's nothing else lying, but I should check inside the sleeping bag and just... I'd say the raven pecked it apart. I think I know who's got it. A stone plinth. The piece is a mosaic. Black Mia... I knew my path would one day lead here. I'll find out who my father is, find the mosaic pieces, and make sure that Angelina's death hasn't been in vain. But I gotta be damn careful. According to Angelina, at least one of the castle's residents is a member of the Order. Maybe I can find out who that is. The two stone figures look almost identical. The stone figurine is a naked woman, a nymph. An electric doorbell? I was expecting an old bell. Nothing. Maybe it's broken. The lock on the letterbox seems to be damaged. The braces on this door are badly weathered. Two have turned to rust and aren't even connected to the door frame at the bottom. No way. The braces are only connected to the frame on one side, but they're much more resistant than I thought. I wouldn't even have dreamed of standing in front of this gate a few days ago. Still nothing. Really seems to be broken. Oops. Now it's broken. No, it's empty. No way. Break this good lockpicking tool. I need something bigger. I don't think I'm gonna get through this door using skill. This is not gonna get me very far. The lock is huge. I've got a lockpicking tool with me, but still can't unlock. It looks just like the photo. There's a really thick branch lying in the undergrowth. Looks solid. It's damp, but not rotten. It must have broken off the tree quite recently. Maybe in the storm yesterday. Using this branch as a lever should work. That's it.
Hey! How did you get in here?
The gate was open.
Really? I'll wring that brat's neck. I've told her 100 times that the gate must always stay closed if we don't want yobbos snooping around the grounds.
If you're referring to me, I'm not a yobo. I'm a policeman.
You don't say. Then you're sure to have ID.
Can I help you, sir?
I've told Mr.
Lewis, good sir. To you, it's just Lewis. You'll take care of this bit. Wonderful.
You will have to excuse our guard, sir. How can I help you?
My name is Falk. I'm investigating a murder that occurred at the lighthouse last night.
I heard about that. Terrible. But tell me, your accent.
I'm part of an exchange program. The United States, Canada, and Great Britain exchange detectives to learn about the various investigative methods. Sherlock Holmes meets Dick Tracy, you might say.
If the government deems it necessary. What about Inspector Collier? Shouldn't he be accompanying you?
He's, sick today.
Ah, I see. He is getting on a bit. How can I help you?
Phew. This is an amazing property.
Indeed. It's a place steeped in history.
Unfortunately, all that history often had plenty to do with blood, death, and misfortune. From what I've heard.
The Gordon family was often put to the test. That's true.
Forgive me for putting it like this, but the castle doesn't make the best impression.
I don't understand what that has to do with your inquiry, Mr. Falk.
A witness saw an unusual black car at the crime scene.
What do you mean by unusual? The Gordon family does have a classic 30s English automobile in its possession.
Unusual enough. Were you up on the cliff with the car this morning?
The ladies haven't driven out anywhere today. And I also don't think that Lewis has taken the car either. Ask him. He looks after the car. Mainly when he should be looking after the garden.
This Lewis has a bit of an abrupt manner.
He's Welsh.
Uh-huh.
He came with his mistress, Lady Eleanor, when she moved in here after the death of her husband. He used to look after her castle's gardens in Wales. He used to have a different kind of work ethic there.
Lady Eleanor owns a castle in Wales?
She does. Her husband, Sir Richard, was killed in a dreadful accident a few years back. She moved here soon after that.
Interesting. What can you tell me about Samuel's ghost, which some of the tourists believe they've seen?
Indeed, there are a few tourists who believe they have seen him. But nothing unusual has happened for 12 years now. Apart from the castle being virtually besieged by tourists every now and again.
But not anymore.
No. Although, only yesterday there was a married couple who came to see the castle and its alleged ghost. Since they asked me politely in advance, I let them have a look around the garden. But did they find what they wanted? I very much doubt it. There are no ghosts here.
You said ladies.
Lady Victoria. She owns Black Mirror Castle, and Lady Eleanor is a relative of hers from Wales. The ladies are the last of the Gordons. They reside here in the castle.
Can I have a word with them?
I would prefer it if you didn't disturb me. Lady Victoria is not a young woman.
No harm in a few words, surely.
Whatever there might be to discuss, you can also discuss with me. I've been involved with the Gordons for more than 70 years. I can tell you everything you may wish to know.
This woman has been murdered. Did you know her?
Are you sure, sir?
Sadly, yes. Her name is Angelina Morgan. You seem to recognize her.
Come with me, sir. We'll have to show this to the ladies.
Fine.
One moment, please, sir. I'll announce your arrival.
What was that in the mirror?
Mr. Falk, their ladyships are ready to receive you.
Mr. Falk, is everything all right?
Yes, thank you. I didn't sleep well. Lady Victoria? Lady Eleanor. My name is Inspector Falk. I'm investigating a murder case.
Bates said you had a photograph of the victim.
That's right. Do you know her?
What's her name?
Angelina Morgan.
I don't know her.
If that's everything.
I do have a few more questions.
It's all right, Bates. Of course, we will be glad to cooperate with the police. Drive to the village and do the job I asked you to do. I'm sure the inspector will keep us company.
Very well, Mom.
So, how can we help you?
You seem to be extremely keen to see the picture of the dead woman. And Bates had a noticeable reaction when I showed him the picture. You are sure that you don't know this young lady?
Quite sure. Only we are concerned. The murder took place quite close to here.
Not the first.
Sadly, you're quite right. It's now. It's 12 years ago, you understand? So many years. And now there's another murder.
Tell me about the series of murders 12 years ago.
No. It doesn't have a thing to do with this crime.
Leave all that alone. Please confine yourself to this murder case. This is quite bad enough already.
Your butler, Bates, seems to be looking after you.
He has been our butler for decades. He is something like the decent soul of this house. He sees it as his highest duty to do all he can for my well-being. Also, even if he neglects his own welfare.
Is he ill?
Yes, I fear he is. We've often suggested that he sit with us and enjoy some peace and quiet for a while. But he always strictly denies that he can no longer fulfill his obligations. We've recently taken on domestic help to at least help him out a little.
May I look around the castle? I'd very much like to talk to Lewis one more time.
Of course. We have nothing to hide. Stay as long as you like. Only please keep away from the private rooms.
That goes without saying, ma'am. You've only been living here a few years, Lady Eleanor?
That's right. I didn't want to live alone in a big house after my husband died.
So you moved in with your relatives in Willow Creek and brought Lewis with you?
Lewis was our gardener in Wales. He is sometimes a bit difficult, but I didn't have the heart to lay him off. I offered him to come with me and look after the garden here.
Which he doesn't seem to do.
Well, He didn't cope very well with having to leave his garden and his home in Wales.
Tell me about your estate in Wales.
It's a lovely castle. Not as big or old as this one. I haven't been back since we left. I'm afraid it's probably in a terrible condition. And the marsh has probably spread even further. It's terrible. I couldn't stomach seeing our home like that. We had many happy years there.
When did your husband die?
A few years ago, Sir Richard, my husband, was a scientist. He did his experiments in a summer house. I used to joke that he would blow himself up one day. I didn't really believe that that's exactly what would happen.
I'm willing to bet that I was imprisoned in Lady Eleanor's castle. It all fits together perfectly, and the phone call would suggest that it wasn't chosen at random. Did she make her old estate available for the Order to use? Louis is here of his own free will. I don't understand why he doesn't give this new life a go.
You are young, Mr. Falk. You don't know what it's like having to leave your home behind you. Louis's roots are in Wales. A tree withers without roots.
Why doesn't he go back then?
I've suggested it to him. I promised him a small amount of money to start him off. First, I thought he would do it. But then he stayed after all.
Strange.
He's a complicated man. He's been working for me for over 20 years, but I still don't have the feeling that I actually know him. I think he blames me for his unhappiness. He only ever speaks to me if it can't be avoided, and I can see that hate in his eyes.
What kind of research was Sir Richard doing?
He had very diverse interests. After the tragedy 12 years ago, he was mainly concerned with, well, with blood.
With blood?
He was convinced that the Gordons' blood must somehow be different from that of other people. I think he was looking for a scientific explanation for all of the misery that has accompanied the family for hundreds of years.
A curse in a test tube.
Insanity is hereditary, as you may know. Why not misfortune?
Or the misfortune is only the result of the hallucinations. That explains what Angelina was looking for in Wales. She was hoping that Richard had found out something interesting before he died. I'm going to have another look around. Goodbye, Lady Eleanor.
It's nice to see another face in this house.
No. No. I don't want to look in there again.